Much more careful. Oh, another double waved yellow. And out of the spray we see, oh, that's Christensen round. Welcome to the 5th round of our 2005 Le Mans Endurance Series in Automobilista 2, where today we will be racing at the Silverstone circuit for the 1000 kilometers of Silverstone. Once again, this is going to be a wet race as we had in Spa-Francorchamps, or at least so is the start of the race, as drying conditions are expected around sunset. And by me mentioning sunset, you can tell that, like in real life, this event is starting a bit later in the afternoon, so we'll see a bit of nighttime running at the end. With the weather and Silverstone being a different circuit compared to Le Mans and Monza, with much less running just in a straight line, we expect the Audis to be strong again, especially in the rainy conditions as well, because this is where they were so strong in Spa, so we cannot afford another race like 2 weeks ago in Monza. Once more, we'll go into this race from P8. Now, as the rest of the grid cycles through, we prepare for what will be another challenging race that could become very chaotic, though, as we saw drivers already struggling to keep it on the island on a dry Monza 2 weeks back. Once again, it's a fifth of the original race's distance, so we'll see 39 laps of racing. Well, and here we are. It's not looking too dramatic, the track wetness at the moment, as I struggle to get the power down, and already we're being overtaken into Copse Corner by our teammates, as under acceleration I almost lose the car, and that's Jonathan Cachet through as well, so we're down in 10th and last of the LMP1 cars. Behind us is now Mike Newton in the Ray Mallock car. That's an LMP2. Oh, out of Chapel again, we almost lose the car, so he's actually passed ourselves. Getting a bit of slipstream towards Stowe. Can we break past? Yes, we can. But look at that already. We've lost out big time to the LMP1 guys, and Newton comes back again. So towards Club. Late on the brakes, and he's still there. Trying to go round the outside at first, but then do the up and under, and now hopefully and finally we will be back past the leader of LMP2, and that first half lap hasn't gone to plan at all. We lost 2 positions, and conditions from here on are only getting worse, as already, look at that, the spray as we go through bridge has increased quite dramatically if you compare it to the first corners that we saw this race. But the good news is that through Priory and these final few corners off the track, we are catching up to our LMP1 opponents once more. And we even get a chance here round the outside of Love Field past Jonathan Cachet. We go, can we get the power down? Well, we try to, but he's still there as we go through Woodcote, and that is Cachet still ahead. And now it's a blind flight into turn 1 Copse. We somehow hit the apex going through that corner a bit slowly, but as we are approaching the S's, we are really close to Cachet. But as it's so often the case in Automobilista 2, the S's is where the AI gains massively on me. But then here from Stowe onwards, this is where we are gaining. Look at this, close to our teammate once more. And we can use a tighter line here, though I don't quite dare to get my car alongside him. Now we would be on the outside for Abbey, but if we manage to get into this corner alongside him, that outside then turns the inside, but we don't manage to do that. But here, we're almost pushing him around the course. Through Bridge, and then into Priory. I try a late braking move, we are alongside, he leaves us the space, and I think that is a position gained, and even past Cochet we managed to go, and I think we're fully ahead now, so up to P8 after the second lap is almost complete, and look at that, almost past Emmanuel Collard we go, out of left field. And don't be confused, top left we have that bug once again that we so often have if it's a flying start, where the game shows not the lap that we're currently in, but the number of laps that we have completed, which is 2 at this point, so we just have started the 3rd lap, just so you know, and you don't get confused by that lap counter. Oh, and this is me a bit late on the brakes here into Club. And that's a spin on the wet track. I didn't get the car turned, and then it was just sliding. Impossible to catch at this point. I tried to, but not possible. So we're down to 10th once again, as we are in the spray of our teammate. We weren't even able to see him there at one point. But this is the part of the track that we love. And sadly, that is no more. The Abbey Chicane and Bridge Corner, 2 very iconic corners of this circuit. Priory as well. This here, from the right actually, this is where the modern track reconnects to the old track as we get past Krum. And then there is an opening on the inside into Lovefield, and past Cochet we get once more. So our pace is really good in these opening laps. We just need to keep it on track. This is where I've been struggling, but we need to iron this out. And then of course the run through the S's, because I lose a lot of time there. Not ideal how I went through Cobbs, running very wide there. But now this is where I lose loads and loads of time. Maggots and Beckets, and once again this isn't looking ideal. Now I try to carry through much speed there, and then I have to go through the grass and gravel, and that's Cochet through once more, but at least this time we stay ahead of our teammate. At least that is for the moment. He might get a good run towards Stowe though, but not good enough to get his car alongside, I say, but then I'm pretty early on the brakes. He has a look down our inside, but doesn't get the move done. Instead, we get a terrific run here on Jonathan Cochet in the number 13 Courage. Round the outside towards Club. We're late on the brakes, and we brake past the Courage. And now let's hope that 3 times a charm, and we actually manage to stay there for once, and not immediately drop it and drop positions with it. So, into lap 5 we are now. Same corner actually, Stowe. And once more we're getting a run on one of the Courages. This time it's Alexander Frey in the number 12. Didn't dare to brake alongside into Abbey, but then to Bridge. And we might get an opportunity into Priory. Trying to carry a bit more speed through Bridge, and then we are late on the brakes, but Frey is darting towards the inside. He just leaves us 1 car's width, which is enough for us to slip through. And oh, look at this! Oh, Sohail Yari facing the wrong way, and a spin for someone other than us, which I guess is good news. And immediately we also get a run on his teammate Kolar and Stefan Ortelli. What a lap! From P8 up to P4 within half a lap even. We managed to go because they are so slow through Love Field. And then of course, well, Ayari spinning, but that did help on the move we did on Fry. But Kolar is just behind us now in the Pescarola, though still battling with Ortelli. But the S's are coming up. This is where I've been struggling, of course. Let's see what they can do. Immediately they're getting closer. Kolar is filling my mirrors already. But only 2 more corners in the S's to go. There is a bit of a gap. I try to be early on the throttle, not too early to spin the car. We struggle a bit. I have to catch it. So Kolar is briefly passed, but we still have our car alongside. Do we dare to go deep into Stowe? Round the outside. Earlier on the power, therefore, and we are passed again. So, after all, we do retain P4, and I must say now that I slowly found the rhythm in these conditions. I'm really enjoying racing here. I always do in Silverstone, but even with the rainy conditions, this is a lot of fun at the moment, as long as you see where you are going. And this is just a couple of laps, no, just 1 lap further in time, and we have another spin now. This time it's the ADT champion Audi of Alan McNish, who spun round into club, and this is another position gained and up to the podium spots we are. It was a 1-2-3 for ADT champion racing. Well, it was not anymore, and we were catching up to JJ Lechto, who is now just ahead of us. Tom Christensen, you can also see him in the distance, just 3-4 seconds up the road. But let's see if we can attack Lechto into Cobbs. We have to stay behind, and I don't think we can do it in the S's. We have lapped the GT2s for the first time, but nothing really happened other than, well, me gaining a bit on Lechto. So you didn't see that. But then through the S's once more, I lose time. Again, it lures me into going onto the brakes, onto the power too early. Almost lost the car again through Chapel. We need to be much more careful. Oh, another double waved yellow. And out of the spray we see, oh, that's Christensen round. And oh, he moves. He moves onto the racing line. That was dangerous. We just managed to avoid him by going round, but Jesus, that was pretty unsafe what he was doing. But it's the 3rd position we gain through his spin off one of the other cars, and let's try to get Lechto. This is already looking good as we leave or join, well, what is nowadays the pit straight into Abbey. We are close. Can we already make a move into Priory? Well, I will surely try. This is for the lead now. First in the championship against second in the championship. We're still leading, but we don't want Lechto to win this one, because then he will bring the gap down to 3 points. Currently it stands at 5. We're 5 points ahead of Lechto. We could extend to 7 if we win this race ahead of him round the outside of Love Field. This is looking really good. And into the race lead we go after almost 10 laps. We'll have completed the 10th lap now as we cross the line. And there is already a bit of a gap, so we won't immediately lose it into the S's. Let's go cleanly through Cobbs, which we do. So, race leader. And we managed to stay in that race lead, even build a bit of a gap until lap 15, which we're currently in. And this is the lap that we will have to come in for fuel for the first time in this race. We expect another stop, rather towards the end. It's only going to be fuel for me this time. I will stay on the wet tires that I started this race on, because apparently the AI sometimes does stay on the tire that they're currently on, which we find out the hard way in Monza. But at the moment we're making it past a mix of GT1 and GT2 cars. The GT1 cars coming up to lap the GT2s for the first time. And there is even an LMP2 Tim Mullen for Cruiser Motorsport in there. Interesting. I think he's even battling Darren Turner for position, who's the leader in GT1. Well, as anyway, we go through Abbey, and then we will come into the pits. And this will be interesting where we come out in comparison to the other LMP2, LMP1 cars. We have a big gap this time. But, yeah, let's see. Also, let's see if the Pescarola's Courages have been in. If we have a fuel advantage over them. We know the Audis probably will be able to stay out for 1 or 2 laps longer. Which they usually do, unless the lap is too long, like in Le Mans. But into the pits we go. Very conservative, but I think I can afford that at the moment. Because on a wet track, we are head and shoulders above everybody else. Well, and I use this pit stop to clean my glasses that I'm wearing under the VR headset because they were fogging up in there. I was very warm during this race, and just in time I managed to get the headset back on and rejoin in the pit lane. Still not happy with how the goggles are sitting at the moment, but I think it's fine. We dropped down to 9th, and this is because the Courages and Pescarolas, they haven't been in. This is super interesting, because usually they should have been in either this lap or maybe even a lap earlier, but they seem to be saving a lot of fuel in these conditions. Maybe I was pushing too hard then after all. But I guess, at least for you, the viewers, this is good news, because that means I will have to battle some cars again instead of just running in first, trying not to spin. First car is Frey in the number 12 Courage. Sliding a bit there, out of Abbey, both him and me. Then into Pryor. I think we're a bit too far back. I tried, nevertheless. Careful there. Don't risk too much with these guys. But then we get a run here. Let's see if some of them will come into the pits. This lap at least. Past Cochet we go as well. Ahead of us is now Ayari, and yeah, they're all coming in, so we were 1 lap ahead of them in the pits. So this shouldn't be too dramatic. But I'm now a bit scared of the Audis. How long they will be able to extend their stint. Well, and we're now in lap 18. Very close to the halfway point, I should point out here. And I'm still in some traffic. This is Pedro Lamy. Give him a wide berth because he's been a trouble point for me. Oftentimes I tripped over him. He spun me out in Sebring. That was 100% his fault. Monza then 50-50, I would say. Oh Jesus, Darrell Young gets in our way. We gained 1 position because one of the Audis is in the pit, so we're up to 4th. But after 18 laps, this is the first of the 4 Audis that's coming in. 3 Audis still ahead of me. Starting lap 19. Oh, again, this is not a good spot to lap Fabio Bibini. So, even though I was dominating pace-wise in the first stint, and I'm still the quickest car on track, the Audis might be a challenge on strategy. And remember, we expect some dry running towards the end. At least the rain will stop towards the end of this race. So, yeah. This is not over. We might still be in a battle with the Audis over the long term, which is often the case in endurance racing, so I guess pretty realistic here as we retake the lead as now. At the end of the 19th lap, all of the Audis have been in the pits, but maybe they could extend this to a one-stop, and then we could be in trouble. We jump ahead in time, lap 22, and ahead of me is some more lapped traffic, and here is some good news. We might still be battling the Audis, but I think the others, we're clear of them. Because look at that, there is one of the Paul Bermundo Vipers now ahead of us, and ahead of him, it's a Yari in the Pescarolo, same class, also an LMP1 car, and we were just lapping him. So I guess this is terrific news. I don't think the Courages, the Pescarolos, and our teammates, they won't be any issue for us today, as they are really struggling in these conditions. They're super slow, running behind some of the LMP2 cars at the moment, as we're passing Bastien Brière and Andy Lally. So yeah, I guess they won't have anything to do with the race win today. As we are jumping ahead in time further, and you see the sun is slowly setting. Lovely evening. It's still raining on this summer day in Britain. That is the cliche of a summer day in Britain. 13th of August, that race was taking place. And this is lap 30, and at the end of it, again, we will have to come in. But I think the rain's gotten lighter now in the evening hours of this August day. Same day the race took place in real life. Weather is also the same as it was in real life. As who we are approaching there? Is this again one of the LMP1s? No, this is Paul Belmondo, I think. In the LMP2 Lola. Turbocharged. Past Valhalla we go. Oof, and there's Lloyd again, the Viper as well. We just managed to get by them, and look at that beautiful sunset there. With the wet track, or damp track now. This is really looking beautiful. Now, what I am going to do with that pit stop that we'll have at the end of this lap is I will go for 10 more laps of fuel. But I still will stay on these tires. Because, look at this here with the spray. I don't think dry tires are an option right now. I don't want to come in for another set of dries. Because, as I pointed out, the Audis may be on a one-stop. They may try to make this work. And I don't see it dry out that quickly. Because look at that. I mean, it's still shiny, that circuit. And I think at this point there's still a drizzle. So yeah, I don't think we can afford to switch on to the softs. The slicks. So into the pits we go. Pit limiter on. And let's see where we come out. And look at that. After our pit stop, just leaving the pit lane, we're still in first overall. And therefore also first in class. So this is looking brilliant. The strategy is working as it seems, and our pace in the wet was really, really good. But there is one thing that concerns me at this point. There is still some spray here on the hanger straight. But I think there is a dry line forming. So the Audis, even if they have to come in the final few laps for a quick splash and dash, they may be able to choose the slicks. I just set up the strategy so that I have the option to maybe decide, maybe I should come in and change for slicks. So, yeah, I want to have that option at least, and to be able to consider it. But I don't think I will do it. I'll try to make it work on the wets. Off the line, there's still some water, and in here, I don't think we can be on the slicks. As we are getting ready to lap that Lamborghini of Marco Apicella. Oh no! Too early on the power as I go out of Abbey. I spin around for the second time. Let's turn her through. And that is... oh, our teammates just passed us as well. He's a lap down though. But this is cause for concern. We lost about... well, how much did we lose there? 10 seconds maybe? And now we'll have to make it past a multitude of cars from different classes that are all trying to lap each other. They're playing it very fair with us though. So I didn't think that this cost us a lot of time. But yeah, look at the temperatures, especially of my rear tires. They're already getting hotter. About 31 laps completed, only 8 more laps. I don't think I will come in and switch for slicks for just 8 laps. I think that is a decision that I have taken already now. I don't know how close the Audis are, and I don't know whether they will have to come in, even if it's just 2 or 3 laps to go for fuel. Well, they will definitely have the option, I think, to choose the slicks if they have fuel for 2 or 3 laps, and then I think we should stay out. I think that is the safest option, and it was looking good as we are going into the penultimate lap of this race. It's now properly dark, almost properly dark. We can see the moon there on the right. Well, we can also see that our tires are getting closer to the surface temperature of the sun. Just the front right is hanging on okay. I've been trying to run through the wet stuff on the long straights like here, but there is not much left of that. So we just have to hang on. 1.5 laps, but I have to take these corners really, really slowly, as I just don't have the grip with the temperatures right now. This is definitely not the right tire to be on anymore. Then again, only 1.5 laps as I just stay on the track here. And as we drive towards Priory, there is a set of headlights getting larger in my mirrors. Someone is gaining on us. Who is it? Oh, it's one of the Audis. It's Lecter. We haven't lapped him. Can we defend? No, look at that. He just passes us as if it was the easiest thing in the world. He's just got so much more grip. So I take he is on the slicks. We lost position just as we are about to start the final lap of this race. We lost the leads that we had for almost 30 laps, I think. Well, now it's over. And it's over at the most critical point as we're starting the final lap. There is no chance for us to reel him back in. There is some more LMP1 headlights behind us. Luckily, these are the Pascarolas and Courages that are all a lap down. So we let them unlap themselves without putting up a fight, because there is another set of headlights getting larger in our mirrors. Maybe we have to defend from them. Look at this, the LMP1 cars there ahead of us, getting confused now as I think they're being shown blue flags to let me by, but well, I can't make it by because look at that. Tire temperature is just so poor. And who is it? They've called up to us. Oh, it's just our teammate. It's just our teammate. We can wave him by. This is okay, Michael Krum. Try and pass these guys ahead even, maybe. There's just a couple more corners to go. Oh, this is so annoying. It was just 1 lap. 1 lap. We're away from winning our 2nd race of the season. Now, I think we can consider ourselves lucky if we finish P2, but it's looking good. 3 more corners to go. Constantly driving on my mirrors. But even if there were someone, there's nothing I could do. There was nothing I could do against Lecto. He just went past us as if I wasn't even there. So, yeah. But I think we're okay. Out of Loffield we go. through Woodcote, and then we finish the 1,000 kilometers of Silverstone in P2. And here are the race results then. JJ Lecter wins ahead of us, 11.1 seconds that he pulled away from us on that last lap. At least 7 seconds behind us, Stefano Telli, but one more lap and we would have had to let him go as well. And probably the same is true for Tom Christensen, who finished 4th. And in LMP2, for the very first time, one of the V8 powered cars wins a race. Mike Newton for Ray Mallock Limited wins ahead of Gareth Evans, championship leader in LMP2. And then in GT1, it's back to Aston Martin dominance. This time though, Darren Turner ahead of Pedro Lamy, and Oliver Gavin finishes on the podium for Corvette. And then, super surprising, Mark Leap beat 2 of the GT1 cars in his GT2 Orbit Racing Porsche, class winner there, ahead of Fabio Babini for the GPC Sport Ferrari, and then Horst Felbermayr with his first podium of the season in GT2. Let's look at the championship standings for each class. We are still in the lead ahead of JJ Lehto, but the gap comes down to 3 points. And with only 2 more races to go, I think Lehto and Ortelli, maybe even Christensen, are all still in with a realistic shot at the championship that at this point we would be winning. But again, 2 races still to go, 20 points still in it. And in LMP2, it looks like a very dominant affair for Gareth Evans. He could already clinch the championship in the penultimate round. Next time, Mike Newton putting the flag up there for the V8 powered cars as he jumps into 3rd in the championship with that race win today. In GT1, it's the Aston Martins back on top after Leuenberger took the championship leads at Le Mans, which was a double points event. So it's now Turner from Lamy, Leuenberger drops down to 3rd. Good race for Corvette Racing as they're mixing in with the Lamborghinis, not too far away from the 2 Vipers also. And then in GT2, it's still that super close championship fight. Top 4 only separated by 6 points, 2 Porsches, 2 Ferraris, all to play for as we go into the penultimate round of the season. Next time, the final race in Europe, which will be the 1,000 kilometer race at the Nürburgring. Subscribe to not miss that, leave a like if you did enjoy this video, and I hope to see you all the next time. Until then, goodbye.